Please rise for Srila Prabhupada's Guru Puja. Hare Krishna.
Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakati Sadma Bando Moi Savadana Mate Yahara Prasade Bhai E Bhavatoriya Jai Krishna Prapti Hoya Hate Krishna Prapti Hoya Hate Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Sitete Koriya Kya Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Sitete Koriya Kya Arana Koriyo Mane Asha Arana Koriyo Mane Asha Arana Koriyo Mane Asha Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Uttama Gati Charane Rati Aise Uttama Gati Shri Guru Charane Rati Aise Uttama Gati ये प्रसादे पुरे सर्व आशा ये प्रसादे पुरे सर्व आशा चक्षुदान दिलो जे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से चक्षुदान दिलो जे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान दे प्रकाशित प्रेम भक्ति यहाँ होते अविद विनाश जाते प्रेम भक्ति यहाँ होते अविद विनाश जाते वेद ज्ञाय हर चरित वेद ज्ञाय हर चरित श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनारा बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनारा बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु अधम जनारा बंधु लोकनाथ लोक राजीवाना लोकनाथ लोक राजीवाना हा हा प्रभु करो दया देहो मोरे पादा चाया हा हा प्रभु करो दया देहो मोरे पादा चाया एबे जा सगु सुख त्रिभुवाना एबे जा सगु सुख त्रिभुवाना श्रीला प्रभुपाद पतित पावना जय प्रभुपादा 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 जय प्रभुपादा जय प्रभुपादा 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 जय प्रभुपादा जय जय प्रभुपाद 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 जय जय प्रभुपाद नमो ओम विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्ति वेदांता स्वामी नित्य नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवारी पश्चातादिशतारिणे कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौरा भक्त वृंद श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौरा भक्त वृंद श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौरा भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gora Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gora Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada ki.
जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकचार्य अस्तोत्र सत श्री श्रीमाद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस AC भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी शिला प्रभुपाद के जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्रजकचार्य अस्तोत्र सत श्री श्रीमाद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस शिल भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर प्रभुपाद के अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधार शिव सादि गौर भक्त वृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंद राधा कुंद गिरी गोवर्धन के श्री वृंदावन धाम की, श्री वृंदावन धाम की, श्री मथुरा धाम की, श्री नीलचल कुरुक्षेत्र धाम की, श्री श्री राधा राधानाथ श्रीमान महाप्रभु गिरिराज गोवर्धन जी के, श्री गंगा माई की, श्री यमुना माई की, श्री तुलसी देवी की, श्री भक्ति देवी की, श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, ट्रांसेंडेंटल बुक डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन की, समर फेस्टिवल of Srila Prabhupada's book distribution case. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavati Pashyatha Desatharine.
Hare Krishna, and welcome to our Sunday Love Feast program. A very warm welcome to those who are joining us for the first time and to our online viewers. We will now have a short video presentation in honor of Srila Prabhupada's 50th anniversary. Hare Krishna.
Maya Giti Shwate Sacharasan. Nature is a machine. To do thing, a machine works without an operator. Do you think? Is there any evidence? Huh? Now this is a machine, photography. It's a wonderful machine. It is taking the picture and it will move. But there is an operator. Where is the machine which is working without operator? Can you give any example? Here is a machine which is working without operator. So how do you think that the nature machine is working without the supreme operator, God's instruction? How do you think it? This is not very reasonable. We have to judge. There are different evidences. One of the evidence is hypothesis. That hypothesis is that because we see that no machine works without operator, therefore we should conclude it, even though we do not know what is God, what is the nature, we must conclude it that the nature is working under some supreme operator, that is God. It is not necessary to see the operator, but we can guess that there must be operator. So human life is meant for finding out who is there to operate. That is human life. Otherwise it's cats and dogs life. They're eating, sleeping, mating and dancing, that's all. That is not human life. You must find out who is the operator. Athat Brahma Jigyasa, this is called in Sanskrit word. Now this human form of life is meant for inquiring about the supreme operator. Now that supreme operator, Krishna, is so kind. He is giving evidence in the Bhagavad Gita. Maya dhaksena prakriti syate sacharacharam. Now here I am. Under my direction, the prakriti, the nature, material nature is working. So you accept, then your business is done. And Krishna gave evidences how he is controlling the nature. When Krishna was 7 years old, he lifted one big mountain on his finger. That means our understanding is that there is law of gravitation. By law of gravitation, such a big mountain, it cannot stay in one man's finger. That is our calculation. But he did it. That means he counteracted the law of gravitation. That is God. So, if you believe this, then you know God immediately. There is no difficulty. Just like if the child is warned, my dear child, do not touch fire, it will burn you. So if the child accepts, then he gets the perfect knowledge immediately. If the child does not accept, he wants to make experiment, then he will burn his finger. So our process of knowledge we should take from the Supreme Authority. Then we save time for research work. That is Krishna consciousness movement. We take perfect knowledge from Krishna. I may be imperfect, just like child is imperfect. I may be imperfect, you may be imperfect. But if you take the perfect knowledge from the Supreme Perfect, then your knowledge is perfect. That is the process. This is called avarohopantha, knowledge coming, deductive knowledge. So everything is there, and if you like to take advantage of this movement, make your life perfect, go back to home, back to Godhead, then fully utilize the center, our Melbourne center, come here, read our books and argue, try to understand with your full knowledge, no blindly acceptance. There is reason, there is argument, there is philosophy, there is science, everything is there. And if you accept that simply by chanting I shall realize, that is also allowed. Both ways. If you accept this simple process, the chant Hare Krishna and realize God, that is also fact. And if you think what is this nonsense chanting Hare Krishna, then you read books. Both ways we are prepared. Come and take advantage of this moment. Thank you very much.
Srila Prabhupada ki, Go Premanande. So devotees, there's just a few announcements as we await for Prabhu. On the Sunday, 1st of February, we celebrate Chandan Yatra. It is to help keep our deities cool in the hot summer days. There will be 2 grinding stations that are already set up on the left. So if you want, you could take advantage to this service and to render the intimate service to the deities by grinding sandalwood. For deity sponsorships, you can speak to Ishara Mataji at the book table or any of our sponsorship teams. To save the date for Prabhupada's Book Marathon 2025 Awards, it will take place on Sunday, the 1st of February. Then the 2026 deity sponsorships are now open. On the 31st of January is the appearance day of Lord Nityananda Prabhu. So you can inquire with the team at the foyer for your bookings. So Prabhu's topic for today is imperfect senses and imperfect knowledge. A little bit about Kshudi Prabhu. His Grace Kshudi Das is from the United States of America. He joined ISKCON on January 5th, 1970 in Laguna Beach, California. He was initiated by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada in Mumbai at the Cross Maiden Festival on March 27, 1971. He was the first devotee to arrive in South Africa in September of 1972. He began the Krishna consciousness movement in South Africa. He stayed here alone for 6 months, hiding away from the apartheid government to establish Krishna consciousness in South Africa. He now lives in India, located in Vrindavan, and travels the world preaching Krishna consciousness. Again, Prabhu's topic is imperfect knowledge and imperfect senses. For today's love feast preparations, it was lovingly prepared by the Seatides Goshala headed by Shama Kotir Mataji and her team. Prabhu is making his way to the temple. We can have some kirtan in the meantime. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Haribol, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribol. Nitai Gaura Haribol, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribol. Please welcome His Grace Kshudi Das Prabhu. Haribol. We'll read the biography of His Grace Kshudi Das Prabhu. He is from the United States of America. He joined ISKCON on January 5th, 1970 in Laguna Beach, California. He was initiated by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada in Mumbai at the Cross Maiden Festival on March 27th, 1971. He was the first devotee to arrive in South Africa in September of 1972. He began the Krishna consciousness movement in South Africa. He stayed here alone for 6 months, hiding from the apartheid government to establish Krishna consciousness in South Africa. He now lives in Vrindavan and travels the world preaching Krishna consciousness. Prabhu's topic for today is imperfect senses and imperfect knowledge. I will now hand over to Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I'm so grateful to be here with all of you because I had imperfect senses. I didn't know which of you were coming in the future, but when I was alone here in 1973, so much of you are so much better devotees than I am, and I'm happy for that. I always tell devotees, don't be threatened if somebody's better at you than something, unless it's knife fighting and they're chasing you with one. So I knew that when the government told me to leave, I went to Mozambique and came back in illegally. Yes, I was a criminal here. New government doesn't care. That gives me juice. You know what juice means? It's like if the commissioner of police or the president is your friend, that gives you juice, right? So I knew that people would be coming along, that if I left, it would be hard to get something started, because if I didn't pay off the book debt and didn't get new people here, it would be hard to start over again. Also, Prabhupada was concerned I was here alone, so he kept trying to send people, but the government gave them roadblocks, which means they stopped them from coming in the road. So, just like in those days it was restricted only to certain groups of people, only the whites had to be in one area, the Indians in one area, the people from Venus in one area, and the people from Mars. I don't think they even had places for people from other planets, did they? So this lecture is only going to be for certain people. You see if you're in this category. We're going to talk about imperfect senses. Anybody who has perfect senses, raise your hand. Goes along with that is that the other imperfections are we have a tendency to commit mistakes. We have a tendency to be in illusion, and we have a tendency to cheat or be cheated. So anybody in that category? Those category, not the perfect senses, right? Anybody have perfect senses? Anybody never made a mistake? Someone said, I thought I made a mistake, but I was wrong. So then, the part with anything is to realize what our real condition is. If we have a problem, it's better to admit the problem. Just like people have I've seen the shirt. They say, I have a drinking problem. I drink, I fall down, no problem. So when someone doesn't think they have a problem, then why should they solve it? So we need to understand. Prabhupada mentioned these in the introduction to the Bhagavad Gita. Which part of Bhagavad Gita book does that come in? The end, the middle, or before the verses? Which one is it? Before, not in the end? Not after the 19th chapter? Anybody read the 19th chapter? Oh, I can't quote from it then. See, that's why we have to get a little bit of knowledge. So we'll do a quick recap there. Can anyone remember one of the 4 imperfections? One to a customer. Yes. Cheating. No one here has ever been cheated, have they? Raise your hand if you've never been cheated. Raise your hand if you get cheated less often now. Yes, see, that should be it. What was one of the other ones? Someone else. Yes? Illusion? What does illusion mean? Yes? Give another. Yes? Mistakes. We had cheating, illusion, mistakes. And what was the first one? Imperfect senses. So why would we talk about those? Aren't we talking about... See, when people have those, it's easy to fool people. P.T. Barnum from the Barnum and Bailey Circus said that if people were more intelligent, the world would be a better place. But some of us would make a lot less money. I saw something on the internet about the good uses for Coca-Cola. You know what they are? Clean the toilet, engine parts, degreasing. It's good at tearing things apart, but maybe if it takes the things out, it isn't a good thing to put in the stomach. Now, we're not so much anti that. We're just making an idea about how P.T. Barnum said if people were more. It's kind of a neutral thing, but it's not really so good for you. But it's not the worst thing, obviously. You know, they put all kinds of things on the internet. Some of it's even true. But you have to read between the lines that our senses are imperfect, and if we're a little smarter, we see what it means. Like when someone tells me in India that there are no traffic laws in India, what does that mean? Anybody know? What? No, that isn't exactly what it means. It means they didn't take a test and get a license. If you didn't take a test, then how would you know that there was questions? I think it may be similar in this country. Some people get in a car and just drive it, don't they? I ask people, have you seen the taxis that drive safely? And they look at me, they think I must be the one from another planet, and say no. So we find out that these things are there. So we find that we're a big disadvantage in this age. Because in this age, what are the qualities it says in the Bhagavatam? That people are misguided, unintelligent, lazy. Now think about this if you're trying to accomplish something spiritually. They're misguided, unintelligent, and they're lazy. Because if you're unintelligent, you won't know what to do. If you're lazy, even if you don't know what to do, you won't do it. And above all, always disturbed. So if you're disturbed, it's very difficult. Krishna says the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many-branched. The obvious thing is if you don't know what you want or need, you're not going to get it, right? Is that true? If I'm driving from here to Cape Town, what do I need to find out? What, did I just get in the car and drive north? Yes? What's that? What did she say? Directions. Yes. But we don't need that in spiritual life. Why do you need to consult somebody else? You just find some random people in the street, take financial advice, and then when you need medicine, you ask a friend, how many pills do you think I should take? Is that what you should do? How many pills should you take? Or do you just go in the pharmacy and buy any medicine? They're all medicines, right? So do you just buy any medicine? How many pills are you supposed to take? What? And where is it written? Where is it written? On the bottle, right? Yes? Yes. Because the senses are imperfect. And the senses are, what do we have? Eyes that see, ears that hear, nose that smells, tasting, touching, and the brain, of course, the mind. Now the mind is influenced by what comes in. And that's why all of these senses can be imperfect, especially if we feed it with bad information. They wouldn't do that on the internet, would they? I saw the one that says someone put on there, you don't want this protein bar. It has pea protein. You need to eat something healthy like bacon. What does that mean? It means someone in the pork industry has paid them to put that out. Because you look on the internet, there's no way that bacon could possibly be more healthy than peas are. Peas are cheap. They're easy to digest. They're very healthy. They're alkaline, so they're non-cancer producing. So obviously, we have to see that when our senses are imperfect, it gives even more of a chance for people to cheat us. So it says how many pills you need on the bottle. Because the sensors are imperfect, they're thinking that, well, I might be in pain later. Say they'd had an operation. And I remember when I had my shoulder operated on, they said they give you the pills as prescribed. Now, if it takes 1.5 pills to totally kill the pain, what is the ideal amount? No. Many people think they need 2 because you're not trying to kill all the pain. The ideal is 1 because you kill enough of the pain that it's called pain management, not pain extinguishment, correct? We have a doctor in the front to convert. Is it not true? Because if you don't feel any pain, everything slows down. The body doesn't feel a need to heal. If you ease it just enough, you're not in extreme pain, but you feel something, and therefore the body tries to heal quicker. So if we both had an operation, and I take 1 pill every 4 hours, and you take 2 pills, who's going to be out of pain quicker? You, because you take more pills? It's not true, is it? The other person gets out quicker. Because you need to find out from someone who knows how the body and mind are working. Because it doesn't go along with what we think. So again, that goes to see how much trouble we're in. Because in this world, you have toes. How much can your toes enjoy? And whatever the most negative thing is what you concentrate on. If someone serves you a nice 10-course meal and you have 10 toes, but they throw the 10th course, the dal, hot onto you and smack one of your toes with a hammer, do you think, wow, 9 of my preparations were good and 9 of my toes are doing well? Is that what you think? No, you think about the one that's causing the most pain. So you wouldn't think about how the other nice devotees served you prasadam. The one that threw hot dal on you may get more of a recognition. So we find that because our senses are imperfect, we may concentrate on the wrong things. And again, the senses become attached to something. They want it, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. The people that take sugars, it makes them feel miserable in many ways, right? So does that mean they don't want it tomorrow? No, it means that's the first thing they think about. Because the obvious solution is if little makes you miserable, the solution is to take more, right? Is it? That's what they think. Because in the mode of ignorance, we always strive in the wrong direction. So I'm on the road going north, and I think, hey, if I drive faster, I'm getting to Cape Town quicker, right? But I'm making good time, aren't I? But I'm going the wrong direction. So this is something we have to consider. So we already don't have much time. Senses are imperfect. We commit mistakes. We're in illusion. And we cheat or get cheated. And we are lazy, so we don't want to do things. We're misguided, so even if we're not lazy, we go the wrong direction. Driving north to Cape Town, and well, I'm doing well. I just passed Peter Marisburg. Wow, now I'm in Mozambique. I'm getting closer, right? If you end up in Namibia, you're in trouble. Not Namibia, Namibia. So beyond all that, where we at? The misguided, lazy, unintelligent? You don't have the intelligence to figure it out. You're misguided, you'll do the wrong things, and you're too lazy. Sometimes maybe 2 wrongs make a right. You're so misguided that you'll do the wrong things, but you're too lazy to do it. That's kind of like 2 wrongs making a right, right? Because going to get the alcohol at the store might be bad for you, but because you're lazy, you're too lazy to go and get it. That's a case of like 2 wrongs making a right, isn't it? Yes? So sometimes in that's the only thing they get. And they're always disturbed. When you're always disturbed, do you do well? The peaceful mind is what directs us towards spiritual reality. And then beyond that, Krishna says in the 14th verse of the 7th chapter that this divine energy of mine, consisting of the 3 modes of nature, is very difficult to transcend. So now we got some things that are bothering us that's difficult to get out of. Mode of ignorance, once they take the intoxication, they have to have more. Intoxication is not so bad. The drugs make you sick when you first take them, and then when you stop taking them, they also make you sick. Where was the good part? What you thought in your mind. So the mode of ignorance, it's poison in the beginning and poison in the end. Of course, due to our imperfect senses, the best pleasure is a mode of passion, because at least you get something right now. But later it's going to be poison. So then the mode of goodness, and the mode of goodness, you do some austerities and get some good results. But so how are you entangled by the mode of goodness? You become so proud of how well you've done and talk about how much better you are than other people. Some people do this, don't they? Instead of thinking, if I really am, the teacher may be better than the students. But does that mean the teacher tells the students how bad they are, or tries to teach them something so that they can become better? Like when this child's get a little older, do you teach them how to write, or do you criticize them for not knowing how to write? Maybe we should teach them how to write. Instead of, hey, why can't you write? But yet people think this due to the cheating mentality. So what is this? I guess we're pretty much doomed. We have a short life. We're always disturbed. We're unintelligent. We're misguided. Lazy. Our only hope is that we're too lazy to do the wrong things. And we have the imperfect senses, so we don't know what to do. So what do? Just like in the medicine, you maybe don't know. So you approach someone that knows what the situation is. And we have a couple of indicators in this. And we'll show how anybody who thinks they're great due to their imperfect senses may still make mistakes. So Krishna says in the 4th chapter, in the 34th verse, Tat vidi pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnanivas tat vidarshanaha. How late am I supposed to go? 4:30? What is it? 12:30 or 12:25? 12:20? Okay, 12:20. I thought it was 4:20. All right, we won't go till 4:20. So, this means that we approach a self-realized spiritual master, inquire submissively from him. The self-realized person can impart knowledge to you because he's seen the truth. Isn't that better than somebody who hasn't been there? Someone who knows about it? So then we just wait for someone who tells us, you know what? I went and made my own process of religion, and I now can see the truth. Is that what we do? If we're supposed to find someone who knows the truth, we just believe that someone sees God, right? I remember somebody had a license, TKSGOD. I said, that's talks to God? She said, no, thanks to God. So that's the imperfect sense. But she said, yes, I talked to God and God told. Some people think God talked to them and told them to kill people. But that can't be right. So how do we find out then? It should be a self-realized person. But there's another qualification. And if the person has these other qualifications, but they're not self-realized yet, they still may be a better source than someone who just pretends to be self-realized. So how does this knowledge come to us? It falls out of a tree like a coconut? Does a coconut fall out of a tree? Doesn't it? Does coconuts, won't they fall sometime? So does the knowledge just fall out of a tree on our head? No. Krishna explains this also in 4th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, that in the beginning of creation, I imparted this imperishable knowledge of yoga to the sun god Vivishwan. Vivishwan imparted it to Manu. Manu imparted it to his son Ikshvaku. And then the key of how this knowledge is imparted is given. Evam param prapta Raj Rishi Vidu. That this knowledge is departed in disciplic succession. We don't wait for the fruit to fall out of the tree. The one person hands it to the next, hands it to the next, and hands it down. So who wants to volunteer to go to the top of the tree here? Who went to the top of the tree? Krishna was at the top of the tree, and he imparted the knowledge to Brahma. Where does it mention that? Pretty early in Bhagavatam, like the first verse. Krishna lays it all out. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Janmadasa Datarat Adiratarcha Itaratascha Artesu Vignasvarat Tene Brahmaridaye Adikavaye. That this knowledge was imparted into the heart of Brahma. Some people say, look, that Brahma's born with a stem, that he's attached to a stem. Do you know anybody who was born attached to a stem? Who? So if everyone's born attached to a stem, but they don't have it now, do they? It doesn't mean they didn't have it. So if everyone was attached to a stem, why is it so hard to think that Brahma could be attached to a stem? So the knowledge starts with him and comes into succession. But then, of course, there's the problem. And this is why we try to keep exactly to what Prabhupada has given us, because it's like a formula. If you add the wrong ingredients, you come out with something different. If you're going to make a mango pie and you add eggplant instead of mango and you add sawdust instead of sugar, will it taste the same? Will it? And we add mud and we just call it a mud pie. Is that it? No. So Krishna says that over the course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it is appears to be lost. Because a little bit different, like in the directions. If you tell me to turn one direction, that one wrong calculation can make everything off, can't it? One wrong turn. So Krishna says, but today I'm giving this knowledge to you. Here's the keys of how to be free from the imperfect senses and the illusion. Is that he says, because you are my devotee as well as my friend. He says that very ancient science of the Supreme is today told by me to you, because you are my devotee as well as my friend. This is the third verse of the 4th chapter. So this shows what we need to do. We need to find the spiritual master who is in disciplic succession, and someone who's the self-realized soul. And then if we become the friend and devotee of Krishna, he will arrange to depart that knowledge to us through the spiritual master. So then, of course, Arjuna is perplexed, because Vivishwan was like 40 million years ago. Anybody remember back that far? Anybody here remember back 100 years ago? You don't? How far back do you remember? Do you remember what the first words you said as a child were? I remember when I was 3 and I flushed the teddy bear down the toilet at my grandmother's house. And I told my mother, look, I flushed the teddy bear. I shouldn't have ought to done that. And she said, that's all right as long as you told me. But I remember a look on my grandmother's face. She was not happy. But this is a good thing to tell children, that they can always come and tell you the truth, because this is the way people who molest children do. They get them to do something like smoke a cigarette and say, oh, now if you don't listen to me, I'm going to tell your parents you smoked a cigarette. So parents have to always let the children know that whatever you come to me with, I won't be angry with you for. That you can keep an open mind to them. Let them know that you're a trusted friend. What some parents try to do is they let them run wild and cause problems for everybody till age about 14.4. And then they decide they're going to rein them in and control every single thing they do. That's difficult to do. You have to give them some parameters that they deal. Like, look, all the children here are being quiet and behaving. They're not running around in circles, not realizing that there's a few hundred other people here, yes? I'm not suggesting people punish children, but they're appreciated more when they're, not like Victorian age, they said children should be seen and not heard. We don't think that, but it is nice when they behave themselves and don't make a lot of trouble. So, then Arjuna is perplexed by this being long ago. He says, how am I to understand that you spoke this knowledge to Vivishwan? Vivishwan was born 40 million years ago. That's senior to birth. And then Krishna explains why he is qualified to give this knowledge. He says, although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord. Now before that, Krishna says, I'm sorry, I missed the 5th verse there. He said, although I am before that, he says, many, many births both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot. Then he says that although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all sentient beings, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. He says, Sri Jami Aham, I manifest myself as I am. We don't do that. We're born according to our past activities. And then he says that whenever there is a rise of irreligious practice and a predominance of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. And then he says, Paritranaya sadhunam vinasaya traduskritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. In order to deliver the pious and annihilate the miscreants, I advent myself millennium after millennium. Then he says in the 9th verse, Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo vetitakvataha takvadeha punarjanma nayati mam etisu arjuna. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and disappearance in this material world does not take birth again, but returns to my abode. So our senses may be imperfect, we may be under illusion, but if we find somebody who is not in that, we can get the right way. Just like if you get blindfolded and you get in a car and somebody else drives you, are you still safe? If you're the one driving, are you safe? No. So as long as somebody else is knowing the way, you can feel safe. This is why we only quoted in the 7th chapter, 14th verse, the first part where Krishna says that the divine energy of mind consisting of the 3 modes is difficult to transcend. But he says, but those who've surrendered unto me, they can easily cross beyond it. So that's the whole key. If you get in an airplane, do you need to know how the engine goes? Do you need to know all the specifics? Do you need to climb in an airplane where someone does? It's funny how people claim they don't know how the airplane flies. If the airplane is, let's say that the airplane, I know the 747 specs. If the airplane is 10 kilometers high and you turn off all the engines, how far can it fly? Anybody know a figure? You're 10 kilometers high, you turn off all the engines. How far can you fly? What do you think? Give me a number. How many? How many kilometers? How many? How many? No, you can fly for 350 kilometers. The last part of a flight, they almost turn the engines off. It doesn't go like that. That's only when they get shot down and they go like that. It doesn't crash. If you get up here and you've reached your altitude and you've gone like, how many kilometers? Maybe 6 to Johannesburg. If you made it more than halfway, the last part, they turn the engines almost off. That's what it's like with no engines on. It slowly comes in. Now, do you need to know that to do safely? Does the pilot need to know that? Do the people need to be like the spiritual master is trained, if you follow his directions, to get you out of danger? If you're in any one of those planes and they land in an emergency, how long does it take to get the passengers off? Anybody know? Let's hear some figures. What do you think? 10 minutes? Who has another number? What do you think? More or less than that? It is more or less than that. I guarantee it. How long is it? Somebody else must have another idea. How many? 20 minutes. Anybody else have a figure? What? What? 9 minutes or seconds? 9 minutes? It's 90 seconds, a minute and a half. Because you know why? The directions come out showing the lights where you are going to this way and out, and the flight attendants say these rows go here, go out, these ones go there. You don't grab anything in this. So when what appears to be a very dangerous situation, they can get you out in 90 seconds. But you have to follow the directions with the lights and what they tell you. You don't try to get down your heavy bag and put it in front of everybody. That's gonna ruin their figures, because if all the slides open and you get out. So what's a dangerous situation? If you rely on the people who know, you can be safe even in a dangerous situation. And we see that if we depend on Krishna, we may be in a dangerous situation. We may not even know because our senses are imperfect, but you can still be okay. This is what happens in Krishna's pastimes, because he appears just like a cowherd boy. He wakes up in the morning and he blows his flute. Then he blows the buffalo horn, woo, and they all come out and they follow Krishna out into the field. And they're all running up to catch Krishna and be with Krishna. And they play games like pulling the monkey's tail and then chase the monkey into the tree. And then they see the frog in the water and they jump in to catch the frog. And they do. We have some. I do these at 12:20. Okay. They all say Hare Krishna. I guess that they gave me the answers, not the questions. Okay. So they would run along. They're playing playful games just like children, and they're herding the calves along. And then one day they come up. We'll give the short version. We don't have as much time. But they come up on, there's this big, looks like a mountain cave, but it smells real funny, like the inside of someone's intestines. That's sort of a fishy smell, right? We're talking about a big thing. This thing was so high that it went up to the sky, and it went for 12.8 kilometers long. How far away would that be, like past Pinetown? And they thought, maybe it's a big snake. If there's a big snake whose mouth is as high as the sky and it stretches all the way to Pinetown, do you walk inside of it? People, all you have to do is mention snake here and people run away, right? The one person told me that he heard there's a snake in here that eats people. I said, there's no, if you want to see a snake, you should see in my bag. Within 2 seconds, he'd run halfway to the mall. I don't even have to have a snake. I just have to say the word, right? Because I asked someone yesterday, if that mamba bites you, how long do you have to live? And Rasaraj said, well, some people die right away, other people live for 10 minutes. That's not very encouraging, is it? No. So, they walked inside this snake. Were they sure it was a snake? No. Why would they do this? Because they knew that even if it's a dangerous situation and their senses are imperfect, Krishna's senses are perfect. Just like on an airplane, that pilot knows what to do. The equipment has a computer that tests everything. That's why when you judge the difference of danger of driving, do you know that driving to Pietermaritzburg is more dangerous than flying all the way around the world every day for 5 years? But people are more afraid to get in an airplane. And that's by American statistics. It's probably 10, 15 years here, because this country, they drive worse. England drives better than America, but this country, they drive worse. Isn't it? Nobody here thought South Africa had an award for best driving in the world, did they? Anybody think that? See? Nobody thought that, right? So they went inside. And Krishna went inside. And the snake closed his mouth. It's just little Krishna. But if it's a snake, it's 12.8 kilometers long. Krishna is just small, so he's not able to choke it. But Krishna can be smaller than the smallest and bigger than the biggest. I'd really need like an hour, hour and a half to do all this, but we'll give the short version. So, Krishna expanded himself so big that it choked the snake demon. And the soul went from out the top, and all the cowherd boys came out. And Lord Brahma, he's pretty smart. He's got 4 heads, and he manages the universe. And he's perplexed. Because, I mean, to our senses and our mind, you can be a cowherd boy or you can be God, but you can't be both, can you? It sort of defies. They think of Vishnu, huge character that lies down and universes come out of his body. That could be God, right? But a cowherd boy? Can he be God and a cowherd boy at the same time? Doesn't sound like it's possible. But maybe, again, our senses are imperfect, and we don't think how it's possible. Like the Jewish philosopher Moses Maimonides said that God can't be a person because a person can only be in one place at a time. There's your imperfect senses. That's people like us. God can be a person and be everywhere present at the same time. Unless when he appears as Lord Nrsingadev, you want to be the one to tell him he can't do that? Volunteers for that? No, I didn't get any. Interesting. So, Brahma's kind of perplexed by this. So Krishna does this wonderful feat, but then he's just going along with his cowherd boyfriends, and they're a little hungry for lunch, and he says, hey, look here, a nice spot by the Yamuna River. And you can hear the brooks babbling. There's like a brook, it comes off of the river, and there's a little peaceful area, and you can hear the water babbling, and you can hear the peacocks cooing, and the birds chirping, chirp, 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 chirp. Birds, where are you? That's your cue, chirp. Well, you know what it's like when they chirp. Chirp, chirp, chirp. No response. Where were they when I needed them, right? Just like monkeys. Where are they when you need them? So, they could smell the mogra flowers and the champak flowers, and they could hear the leaves rustling in the wind. And Krishna said, look, here's a nice sandy spot. And they put their lunch bags down, some of them on logs, some of them on wood chips, some of them on leaves, and some of them just on the sandy. And the picture is up here, isn't it? Where is it? Where is it? Right there, right? See that one? That's the cue where Krishna's in the center. And there's so much concentrated on Krishna. Yeah, there's the birds chirping. You were supposed to come earlier. They were so concentrated on him that they forgot about everything else. All of a sudden, one noticed the calves are gone. And so Krishna said, don't you worry about it. I'll go look. He puts his flute in one side of his sash and the buffalo horn in the other. It goes off with a laddu in his hand. He tells the cowherd, but you just sit there and take your lunch. When he comes back, the cowherd boys are gone. And he's running around, looking around, wondering, looking like he wonders what's going on. So what had happened was, Brahma had played a trick on Krishna. He'd hidden all the calves and the cowherd boys. Now, if you're making a counter trick, what's the first thing you do? Make the person think the original trick is working. I think of that in like battles. The Battle of Kursk, the Russians knew what the Germans were doing. So they let the Germans come in and think they were winning, and then they brought in the extra forces and surrounded them. So when you make a plan, and it looks like your plan is working, you have that sense of ease. But Brahma came back, and Krishna had expanded as all the cows and the cowherd boys. Of course, a year had gone on where Krishna had expanded as the cowherd boys and the calves, and all the people of Vrindavan got to have Krishna as their child. But Brahma was so perplexed, he couldn't understand what was going on. And that's why we understand that even if we're a great soul, if we try to test Krishna, he may trick us back. And if we just depend on Krishna, even if we do a dangerous thing like go inside a snake or stay in a dangerous country, which is the safe country? Goloka Vrindavan, Vaikuntha, those are the safe ones. Is it South Africa? No. Is it America? Is it Iran? No. Is it Ukraine? We have countries that are so dangerous, they're even much more dangerous than the very dangerous ones, right? Isn't it? Think about Ukraine and Russia. Is that a safe situation? No. But someone said to Prabhupada, the death rate in India is so much higher than America. Prabhupada said the death rate is the same everywhere, 100%. So we have to realize that if we depend on Krishna, just like when you're in that airplane, the pilots know how to pilot it, the plane knows how to go 35 times, that's the glide ratio, 35 times. So for every kilometer high, it can glide for 35 kilometers. That's why the most dangerous part is when they just take off. The 787 has been such a good airplane that it only had one trouble. But that's because as soon as it took off, the Air India one, the co-pilot turned off the fuel tanks. Now if you're up high and you turn those off, you can glide. But if you've just taken off, it isn't going to work. By the time you turn it back on, you've already hit the ground. So again, that's the thing with if the equipment is right and the proper guides can help you. But if you have the improper guide, you don't get on a flight where the person may turn the fuel tanks off. You see, that's happened so seldom. And I bet that caused some big trouble for Air India. Some people don't want to fly in them, but it's not the fault of the airline, not the fault of the airplane. It's the only 787 that ever had a problem. But just like if there's a medicine and it cures anybody who takes it, but only 90% of the people take it, what can they say their cure rate is? Can they say 100% or only 90? They can only say 90. They can't say, well, if those people had taken it, they would be cured. They have to go by what's there. You got to give the correct statistics, because even with that, people come up with some erroneous ideas. They don't believe the statistics, so they come up with their own. Is that a good idea? I don't believe in the plain statistics. I have my own. I think that it can fly forever, or only 1 kilometer, even if you're 10 kilometers high. You have to go by the real statistics. Like Prabhupada says, there's statistics, he says, about car crash. You can say, well, I don't believe that. I have my own idea. Because if our senses are imperfect, we have to go on the data. Oh, you call it data, right? But it's the same thing, right? Isn't it? It's amazing what people come up with different ideas. They have a different opinion. So if you have an opinion about something, that changes the facts, correct? Is that how it is? It doesn't change the facts. And this is why, because if we have these imperfect senses, we need to approach someone like Krishna and the spiritual master who have the perfect senses. Now, if you're going to fly to Johannesburg, do you pick a proper airplane with a proper pilot, or are you going to build your own and fly it there? I need to go there next Friday. Should I build my own plane and try to fly there? Should I do that? No. I have to go to somewhere where it's been tested. So now I guess it's time to answer questions. If someone has one they want to raise their hand for. Now, does anybody have perfect senses? Did I mention someone that has perfect senses in this class? Who was that? It wasn't Brahma because he has 4 heads? Did Brahma make a mistake? Did he pay for it? But was he able to offer prayers? So any contact with Krishna comes out good. Imperfect senses, imperfect knowledge. Oh, that's the question. Number one, even though we have knowledge, we still choose to do the opposite of what is required. So how do we deal with the situation? Oh my! That means that we're letting our senses pull us. It's supposed to be that above the matter is the senses, above the senses is the mind, above the mind is the intelligence, above the intelligence is the soul. So it's supposed to be that the soul directs the intelligence to move the mind, and the mind moves the senses in the right direction. But if we let the senses become attracted to objects, and then the mind tells the intelligence, go find the ways and means for that, we're going to be misguided in spite of it. So we have to remember where we're putting. And if we make mistakes, then we try to do the right thing. We can work with Earthy. Stop now. You don't have to leave. It's been very good so far. Excellent, yes? Question 2. How can we use our imperfect senses to serve the Lord? Because we can do nothing right. Well, when we're talking to people, you don't tell them they do nothing right. The one woman was peeling the bananas to give to Krishna, and she was in such ecstasy. She was giving Krishna the peels and throwing away the banana. And Krishna was happy, because Krishna is happy with the love that we're giving him. Krishna is more happy when someone's giving him love than someone thinks how a perfect Brahmin they are and how they know how to do all the sacrifices just perfect. Krishna sees the love with which we're offering. And Krishna says in a verse in Bhagavad Gita that he preserves what we have and he carries what we lack. So if we're serving him and we lack things, Krishna can take care of that. When we think we're perfect, we're in more trouble. How do we serve the Lord from within and not in present? Well, we have to have some devotion. We offer it to Krishna, thinking that whatever little thing I'm doing for Krishna. It starts by chanting the mantra. And that's why we must do each thing we're doing very intently. Like I tell people, I drive a car, I check emails, and I chant rounds, and I eat prasadam. But I don't do all those things at the same time, even though those are all valid things at the right time. Even the sales trainer, Tom Hopkins, says we must do the most productive thing at every given moment. When the day is over, and we need to wake up early tomorrow, the most productive thing is to sleep, to get some rest. So we find that, like for instance, if you think I have things to do and rounds to chant, so I'll do both together. And both things end up taking 5 times as long. If you added that up, you did 2 things, but if it took 5 times as long, you're really losing 60%, not gaining 50, right? Because the more you concentrate when you chant, the quicker it can go. Especially I find that it's better to chant for several hours without stopping and then do all of the tasks at once rather than chant 1 round, do some tasks, chant 1 round. It's like it's better to drive to somewhere and then do your tasks. You don't go up the road and then you stop and check your email. Then you go up the road and then you eat something. Then you go up the road and you do something else. You take care of that one task first. How to surrender with imperfect senses. We struggle to remember, although why it is so difficult. Why is it so difficult to forget? Why is it so difficult to forget? Well, we have to keep reminding ourselves. Like we were talking about the computer. The things like the Facebook, it works on the algorithm. Now I get reels about Durban Temple, Laguna Beach Temple, Vrindavan, and Prabhupada ones on there. I never get any about cricket. Is that because they don't have them on the Facebook? Is that it? Why do I not get any about cricket and I get them about Prabhupada? Why? Because Facebook knows I'm a devotee? Does, but how does it know that? What's that? What you look at, the algorithm gives you more of it. You know what else is like that? What else works that way? The brain. What you've thought about is what it keeps repeating. It just works the same way the brain is. You know, it's like they say with the computer, garbage in, garbage comes out. I use the same thing with my mind, but I use Krishna conscious knowledge instead of garbage. Because what you put in, that's what's going to come out. So it's a matter of practice. We don't become a pure devotee. It's not like we're the worst demon and then you flip a switch and we're the best devotee ever. It's a process. Prabhupada says it's a long road from the beginning of karma yoga to the end of bhakti yoga. So what we have to do is pray to Krishna for help. Say you have this particular disease and you take the medicine and you climb on the flight and go to Johannesburg. Do you know exactly how the medicine is working? Do you know exactly how the plane is working? Do you know the difference between a turbo airplane, a turboprop, and a full jet? Who knows that? Well, a full jet, it's the suction. The turboprop has propeller, but it's a jet. When I first went to India, it was just a turbo, no jet. Took a long time. Travels at about 360 kilometers per hour, and the full jets travel at 800. So it took a while to get there. So are there any other questions about this? Any corrections? So Brahma's the one that has perfect senses? Because he's in control of this universe? Is it Brahma? No, it's Krishna. So if even Brahma has the difficulties, we shouldn't be surprised when we do. But if we stick with Krishna like the cowherd boys, even if there's danger, Krishna will protect us. So that's the whole thing we should do, is not try to figure out how to make our senses perfect, but figure how we can dovetail ourselves, just like the leaf on the tree. The leaf doesn't get water. The leaf doesn't know how the water goes from the root through the trunk, through the limbs and the branches and to the leaf. But if it just stays on the tree, it'll get the proper thing. It doesn't know exactly how it works. But if it just stays connected, just like if you're working an appliance, as long as it's plugged into the powerhouse, you don't need to know how the electric power works or where the powerhouse even is. You just have to stay connected to it. And even if you don't understand and your senses are imperfect, if you follow the right process, you'll get the right result. All right, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Kshudi Prabhu. So devotees, we have 5 gift packs here aligned in front of you for 5 new guests that are joining us here for the first time. So by the show of hands, how many are new here today? Please do come forward and Prabhu will do the honors of giving you these book packs. Okay, come through.
I was going to ask if anyone new was here today, but I'm glad you put that in there, because that way everybody gets to know them.
Yeah.
And this means that they get a gift. And it means you don't have to guess who's here for the first time, right? Because there's so many people here you might not know. How many we have coming? These children were very good, by the way. Hare Krishna. Let's see. Hare Krishna. Now everyone can come and meet these people later, right? Yes? Because wouldn't it be nice if you had a place where you could meet people and you could advance spiritually while making new friends? This is the place. Which of you are together? What's that? You two were together. Hare Krishna. Oh, here come more. You already knew how many were there, right? You're one step ahead. So everybody remember these faces? And then you go say hello to them, yes? Because we accept that people are persons and we'll come and talk to them.
Thank you, Prabhu. So devotees, there's just a few announcements that I have to make. On Sunday, the 1st of February, we celebrate Chandan Yatra. For deity sponsorships, you can get in touch with our sponsorship team. And to save the date for Prabhupada's Book Marathon 2025 Awards, which will take place on Sunday, the 1st of February. And then 2026 deity sponsorships are now open. And on the 31st of January is the appearance day of Lord Nityananda, so you can inquire with the team at the foyer for your bookings. And today's Sunday Love Feast was lovingly prepared by the Sea Tides Goshala, headed by Shamakoti Mataji and her team. Thank you so much. We will now observe the Aarti. Hare Krishna.
श्री श्री राधा राधा नाथ की नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्ति वेदांता स्वामीति नामिने नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्ति वेदांता स्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पश्चाता दशतारिणे नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पश्चाता दशतारिणे Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Oh Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The art is still on. What? The art is still on.
Yeah, I know. Just carry on singing until she stops.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Virendra Prabhu, assistant, you can end it now. Sing one more time and let's go.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya 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 Prabhupada, 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 Prabhupada.
जय न चल वैष्णव विष्णुपाद परमहंस पद विदिक्चार्य अष्टार सच्च श्रीमद सर्वभौमा शील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर प्रभुपाद महाराज की जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस पद विदिक्चार्य अष्टार सच्च श्रीमद His Divine Grace co-founder Acharya, BBD founder Acharya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री द्वैत श्री गदाधर शिवासरि श्री गौर भक्तबिन की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की श्री श्री मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की श्री श्री मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की श्री रूप श्री सनातन भक्त रघुनाथ श्री जीवा गोपाल दास रघुनाथ सदगोस्वामी की श्री श्री राधा राधानाथ की श्री श्री राधा राधानाथ मंदिर की श्रीमन महाप्रभु की गिरिराज गोवर्धन की लक्ष्मी नृसिंहदेव श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की हरिनाम संकीर्तन की गौर भक्त वृंद की लक्ष्मी नृसिंहदेव श्री प्रहलाद महाराज की all glories of devotees, all glories of simple devotees, all glories of simple devotees, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga, glory Srila Prabhupada ki.
Namaste Narasingaya. Kashipur Vaksha Sila Tanga Nakalae Ito Nishimo Parato Nishimo Tato Mitato Nishimo E Nishimo Itare Nishimo Narashima Madim Saranam Prapade Tabakara Kamala Bare Naka Abhuta Shringa Dalita Iranya Kashipu Tano Prenda Eshabadeta Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare
सिंहदेव भगवान की, प्रहलाद महाराज की, श्रील प्रभुपाद की, निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे।